What is up, my mates of YouTube? My name is Aussie Marcel, and in today's video I'm going to be recommending fragrances from $5 all the way up to $350. So if that sounds good to you, let's get into the video. Now, just before I get into the video and make these recommendations, just be aware that my pricing is in AUD, Australian dollars, or Aussie dollars, or Aussie bucks, or however you want to put it. I am in Australia, and it takes a lot of time to convert the prices over to USD. So if there's a fragrance that you're interested in particular, just convert it over with Google to get a better idea of the pricing. Starting things off with my personal favorite fragrance, and for $5, Brut Original. I would recommend this over any cheap $5 drugstore knockoff, just filled with chemicals that you don't know anything about. This is 100% aluminium free, or aluminum if you're American. Timeless, iconic, enduring. The original Brut scent unites citrus, fougere, and musky elements to create a fresh and clean scent for men. When I think of masculinity, those ultra masculine scents, Brut Original is 100% on that list. I wear the body spray one, not the antiperspirant one, because aluminium is bad for you. But if you think that smells a little too dated for you, if you think that smells a little too old-fashioned maybe, or you're a little younger and you want to wear something that smells a little sweeter, I would recommend a can of Gia. This smells identical. It smells like a slightly more subtle version of Yo Pom, and it is pronounced Yo, not dupe, although I bet you more people are going to know what I'm talking about if I just call it dupe anyways, but it is technically Yo. Timeless fragrance, spicy and oriental with fresh citrus top notes, a warm and balmy floral heart with a toasted cinnamon and musk base. I still love the way this one smells, but it's just a little too teeny boppery for me nowadays. But if you're younger and you're looking for a $5 or and under fragrance, check out Gia. Next up we have any Nike fragrance. I've got Nike Man Green here just because I don't talk about this one enough, but you can put in Ultra Green, which smells like Paco Rabanne's 1 Million. You could put in Nike Man Blue, which smells like Jean-Paul Gaultier's Ultra Male. Nike Man Green smells like Paco Rabanne's Black XS, and in my opinion, this is a better representation of the original Paco Rabanne Black XS DNA than the current formulation of Paco Rabanne's Black XS. So take that for what it's worth. I'd highly recommend this at $10, or if you want to pay $15, you can get the 200 ml bottle here. Next up, for $15, we have Nautica Classic. Now, I like Nautica Classic because it smells like clean clothes, and there is nothing more attractive than the smell of clean clothes, clean skin. Nautica Classic, $15. It's an easy recommendation, and I'm actually going to spray this one because I love the way it smells so much. I would recommend this over any Nautica fragrance, and they all smell great. Like, they're all fresh and clean and beautiful, and between $15 and $30. But this is my personal favorite Nautica fragrance, and in my opinion, you get more comments from wearing clean clothes and no fragrance than you do from wearing some really overpowering, strong masculine fragrance. So if you're after a neutral base sort of fragrance, Nautica Classic has got you covered, and personally I think this is a unisex scent as well. Next up, for the $20 to $30 mark, I could have picked Davidoff Cool Water because it's an iconic old school men's fragrance at this point, but I'm picking David Beckham's Amber Breeze instead. This is from Beckham's newest eau de parfum lineup of fragrances, and they're about at 20 to 25 bucks depending on where you buy it. Amber Breeze is slightly sweet, it's got some amber in it as well, and it's also quite spicy as well. It is technically unisex, but I think that spice in the dry down really makes this one more masculine, and at this price point it's probably the best Beckham fragrance. Next up, for about $40 Australian, we've got Versace's The Dreamer. Now, everybody knows the brand Versace. Everybody I know that wears fragrances loves the brand of Versace, but nobody wears The Dreamer for some reason. This is white floral. It's got some tobacco notes as well. It's very unique. It's going to make you stand apart from the crowd, and the performance is decent too. Definitely check this one out. Next up, at the $50 price point, well, 50 to 60, Jon Voss Artisan. This is the beachside millionaire fragrance. This smells like clean clothes and also citrus. It's also got like a couple of white floral notes here. Very classy, very sophisticated, and for a fresh scent, the performance is decent as well. Check this one out. At the $70 price point, we have a fragrance from my sponsor, Dossier Fougere Oud, which smells like, or it's meant to smell like, it's in the style of Tom Ford's Oud Wood. This fragrance is one of the best fragrances I've ever smelt in my life. The performance is incredible at an easy 9 hours plus with 3 sprays. It's spicy, it's woody, it's got this gentle oud note that just lingers in the background. I'd highly recommend it, and they do have a 30% off right now. Dossier has never let me down. I've got a whole stack of Dossier fragrances over there, and they all smell fantastic. They all come in at a really good price. And I think this may be my personal favorite one, or the Lost Cherry. That was pretty good as well. So Lost Cherry or Fougere Oud, pick one of them, and that's in this spot. Next up, at about $80, we've got Bulgari Man Wood Neroli. Now this is another fresh fragrance. This would either be worn by like a secret millionaire, businessman wearing a suit, or like a hippie that lives in a forest. It's like, you're not gonna get like a middle ground between there. It's gonna be one or the other. It's got a beautiful neroli note. This is like the ultimate expression of that neroli note you'd smell in 4711, except the performance is significantly better. This doesn't get spoken about enough. The whole lineup of Bulgari fragrances, the men's fragrances at least, is incredible, and I'd highly recommend literally any of them. But this, Wood Neroli, it's one of the most potent freshies on the market. Oh, it's barely a freshie. Let me just smell. Yeah, this could almost be unisex. Like, I could imagine smelling this on a woman, but it's also quite masculine at the same time. It's woody, it's got that white floral, that neroli note. Almost smells like orange zest or orange peel. It's beautiful. Check this one out as well. How many times am I going to say check this out? Next up, at about $100, we have Narciso Rodriguez's Bleu Noir. This fragrance is a vetiver bomb. It's got this like subtle sweetness to it, but then it's got this like dry, spicy vetiver note, and it has the best bottle design I've ever seen. Look at that. It just looks incredible. It is a little on the pricey side. We're getting into that territory now where these fragrances are costing a bit more money. But Bleu Noir, performance is great at over 8 hours with 2 sprays. This is another classy, sophisticated fragrance that you would wear out to dinner, or you would wear to a bar, and it's not too sweet, so you're not going to be like, and it's not too sweet like a Paco Rabanne fragrance or anything like that. This is like one of those fragrances that you would wear on a night out where you're trying to be subtle about things, where you kind of want to be guy incognito. Definitely check this one out. I said it again. Unbelievable. I've got to come up with a different phrase. Next up, at $140, Gucci Guilty Eau de Parfum. The Gucci fragrances, in all honesty, they are on the safe side. They're easy to wear. They're gonna get you dumb compliments. And by dumb compliments, I mean they're easy compliments. You wear a Gucci fragrance, you get compliments. It's a simple formula. This, on the other hand, is a little different. It has this rose note, and it's a prominent rose note as well. It also has patchouli, so it comes across like a dirty, masculine rose. It's a fragrance that would be worn by some classy guy in a suit, or some guy in a dark jacket in all black, and it would fit for both of those styles and aesthetics. It is pricey at $140, but the performance is really solid at over 8 hours with 3 sprays, and it's never failed to get me a compliment. So this is my pick at about the $140 mark. Next up, for $200, and we're really getting into the pricey territory now, Prada LOM Intense. This is one of my personal favorite fragrances of all time. It's aromatic, it's a tiny bit leathery, it's got a beautiful powdery iris note. It's another one of those fragrances that always gets me compliments. Simply one of the best of all time. I've got many backup bottles of this because I can't imagine not having a bottle of this on hand. And if I really don't want to think about a fragrance to wear for the day, I just chuck this on. I've always got this on me. I'm always wearing it, and there's a good reason for that, because for the money, for that $200 price point, it is simply untouchable. And lastly, At the $350 price point, we have the 100 ml bottle of Tom Ford's Ombre leather. Now, this is the real deal, this is the real stuff. I've even got my dad onto this. He was typically a black orchid man, and he's like a pretty masculine guy, so I don't know why he likes black orchid, but I love that for him. But this, on the other hand, it is a unisex fragrance as well. That leather note, that slight fruitiness in the opening, it's iconic. This is the epitome of a fragrance. This is as good as it gets. I love Tom Ford's Ombre leather. It's in my top 3, and yeah, I love this one. It is on the pricey side. I understand that at this price point, that is a very prohibitive price point. But if you want the best of the best and you don't want to pay ridiculous $600 plus on niche fragrances, you go for Tom Ford's Ombre leather. All seasons, all occasions, even in the summer, this one makes you smell like a god. So let me know what your fragrances are between these price points in the comments below. I'm really curious to see what you guys have to say. And until the next video, my name is Aussie Marcel, and I'll catch you guys around.